Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I realize it's nightlights, but I'm going to do something different with the background. And I think that this can translate into a lot of different pieces, not just nightlights. So we're going to do nightlights because it's something small in case it doesn't work and I'm not wasting a lot of resin and it's wipe offable. But you'll see. You'll see. So first things first, as always, with a nightlight, if you have not seen any, we are going to clean them off with alcohol on a paper towel just to get it off any dust, dirt, grime, any of that, right? We don't need that happening. And then what we're going to do is just take our alcohol inks, and today I am using Let's Resin's alcohol ink, and drip it on. It's super, super simple. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. Now, I am doing 4. We're going to go through the first one pretty slow together just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now, the one thing that I did notice is for each one, I kind of was like, I have a theme in mind, right? And I want to do a combination of different colors and try different blotting techniques and stuff like that just to see if we can get some different effects out of the alcohol ink. On this one in particular, I am using black, I am using the purplish red, and then out of their metallic alcohol ink set, I am using, I think it's called like pearl white or something like that, right? Now, what I noticed when I did the other ones is the metallic alcohol inks are kind of a must if you want the more vibrant colors. And I think it's because they have a little bit of actual like pigment in there. Because just for those of you that have never used them before, you have to shake them up super, super well, like you would your Sinker white, because the pigment kind of settles to the bottom. So they're a little bit different. So it gives it that opacity, but not in a way that's going to, for instance, in the terms of this nightlight, it's not going to make it so you can't see through it because you're not using it that much. Does that make sense? So I think it's a must. I could be wrong. We're going to find out later on when we talk a little bit more about this, when we actually go to put the UV resin on. But I think it looks super cool for now. Let's keep moving on and see what else we can come up with. So all I did was I just kept I put the ink on, I spread it around a little bit so the colors didn't blend but merged some. And then I took a paper towel, blotted it off some. If I wasn't super happy with where exactly the colors were, or I was trying to get it to kind of spread just a little bit more, or whatever the case may be, I gave it another squirt with alcohol, dabbed it again, added more inks when I needed to brighten up the color, make it more bold and vivid. And then I used a Q-tip as well. You can get into the finer kind of areas, and instead of taking off all of the alcohol ink or a lot of the alcohol ink like the paper towel does, it takes off minimal so you can kind of move it around how you need to make sure the entire background was covered, right? Now, this one here, you can see at first I didn't use a metallic, right? And it's just not very much of anything. So that's kind of why I'm leaning in towards you need some sort of metallic, some sort of something that has a pigment base in it, because you can see the colors better. They come up better. It kind of gives it that background that is needed for it. Now, again, when we do the resin, things change. So it may be worth looking into not doing it that way and seeing. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a couple moments. I just kept layering up the colors though, until I got to the point where I was happy the colors were where I wanted them to be. I did, for the finer work, like after I layered it up a little bit, I did decide that the Q-tip was kind of the way to go so that I could blot off some of the edges or somewhere it was puddling too much. Now you can also see when I'm using the metallic here, the metallic floats to the top, and that can be very, very deceiving. Again, you'll see here in a moment, but it looks like it overtakes the whole thing. but that other color that you have on underneath is still there. So you need to play around with it a little bit and realize that it is going to change drastically, guys. I mean, crazily. Like I was astounded when I put the UV resin on at how much it changed the vibrancy and how these things look. Also, be careful because you want to make sure that that alcohol ink, if you're doing it on nightlights in particular, that it doesn't run down into the part where the sensor is and the light and all that stuff. You don't want to mess them up. This one, I just wanted more blue, so I added the blue, and you can see even after the alcohol was dry, that silver still popped up to the top, right? So I just went in with my Q-tip again, blotted off some of that silver that was floating on top of it, and left it kind of in puddles to dry. All right, so I've picked out a combination of stickers, UV DTFs, washi tape, all of the things, and now we're going to do the UV resin part. Now, you saw what this looked like before. Watch how much this colors pop as soon as this resin gets on here and how much brighter they get. That's why I'm saying maybe because of the transformation, and I'll do a close-up when I have this cured, because of the transformation and how much the colors pop after you put the resin on, you could potentially get away with not having to use the metallics and just using straight alcohol ink and get the same effect, right? I'm not sure because I had noticed, and I did them all in succession. I did all of the alcohol ink and then went and did all of the resin, right? So I don't know. I noticed that I wasn't getting the vibrancy, even at that point, the vibrancy from just the alcohol inks alone, that without the metallics, that I added it into all of them, even the ones that I didn't, plan on the first go around. I mean, look at that difference. It changes it so much. Now, also, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, you need to be careful when you are spreading your first layer of UV resin over top of these. And this is going to go for any piece that you do that you're going to have to maneuver and manipulate the resin to get where you need it to go, because it will come up, right? It's just kind of sitting on there dry. It will, if you are careful and you are scratching it or whatever, it will start mixing into the resin, and we don't want that. We want it just laying on the bottom. Now, these are easy enough to clean off the alcohol if you get it going down the sides or on the back. Like I made a mess on, I think it was this piece actually, when I was doing it, and the alcohol ink, traveled around to the back of it and on the sides. And you just get a paper towel, Q-tip, whatever for the place that you need to get it off of, and some alcohol, and it's super easy to clean off, right? But you definitely do want to clean that off because nobody wants to touch it later on down the road, and if their hands are wet or whatever, and then get alcohol ink all over them, because it will come back to life again. Okay, so for this one, I wanted to do like a crazy kind of diamond, almost cascading down the side, almost like if it was the inside of a geode or something similar to that. So I've got these, the big ones, they're not they're not like rhinestones with the flat backs. They actually have the diamond shape, and I laid them all in place on top of my next layer of UV resin. And then I just put some crushed glass in there, just kind of sprinkled it on. Now I want to make sure, obviously, that that's all covered up, but just for these bigger pieces, to get them in there, I don't want them setting on top. I don't have to glue them all individually on there, but I do want that look, right? We're going to add some more detail to that later on. We're just going to do the basics right now of the first and second layers for these and get that done, and then we're going to do all the fine detail work later. Now, I thought this frog was super cute. I mean, he's just freaking adorable sitting on that daisy, and the background just goes so well. I love this idea because I feel like, even though, yes, these are nightlights, yes, I'm sure you guys have seen 1,000 nightlight tutorials. It's not necessarily about the nightlight part. It's about the background part that I wanted to kind of showcase, because I feel like this would work to get that different kind of look. You know, you don't necessarily want to marble it and get that look, because you're not going to get the same effects, right? You're not going to get the same effects if you drop the alcohol ink in there as you would what I got doing it this way. So if you have your tray molds or pretty much anything that, anything, right, that you want this type of background on, pour your initial layer, because obviously you don't want it to drop it straight on the mold like that. It's not gonna work right. Pour your layer of resin, add all your alcohol inks, whatever, get that design, that pattern you want. And whether it's the back or the front, depending on the way the mold is set up, right? You can either then finish it off with your backing color, or you can do a thin top coat just to seal it all in and then continue to decorate it however you want. I feel like for this, it just took these up to a whole nother level. It's not just one straight kind of blah color. The background is super interesting. It blends with every single image that I put on there. So you can do a combination of however many colors, I mean, within reason, obviously, that you want, and keep doing it over. And if you mess up, just get a little bit of alcohol and wipe it off, clean it off, and try again. So I think it's a super, super, super cool idea. Now, for the finishing details, I decided that because, like, again, like I said, for this one in particular, I want that kind of geode-style look on the one side, along with our celestial, mystical kind of look on the from the moon and the background. So I just added a few clear rhinestones with that iridescent kind of shift to them, just in places here and there, and a couple of the smaller diamonds that if I had put them in when I put the UV resin on, they would have, because they're so tiny, they would have just completely sunken and you wouldn't have been able to see them. So I just added them here and there so that depending on which way you're looking, you're getting that shift from the light reflection on those rhinestones, on those diamond facets, and all of the things, which I thought looked really cool. And then I finished it up with a couple little sparkle things on the moon just to embellish what was kind of already there, make it more 3D, make it more unique and stand out. With a cat, I did the rocks on the bottom. Again, I added a few rhinestones here and there just to kind of accentuate certain areas. And then we're going to do the same thing with the rocks. We're going to use black rhinestones with that iridescent kind of color shift. Just, again, it going in different directions to make it so that when the light hits it, you're getting that kind of sparkle and shine from it. And it just makes it something unique. I decided for the cat, I wanted to make him a little more mystical too. So we got the moon and the star and just putting it on there. It already had a design on it, but it wasn't quite pop out enough for me. So I kind of really, I liked how this worked. And with our little frog, we're just going to use these little frosted half pearls that are flat back. And then it has dewdrops on the flower petals. And I thought clear rhinestones, just the teeniest, tiniest little ones, would look cute there. Just to make it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more special. We're not going to do anything else with the steampunk one. With the gears and the cogs and all the things that I added to it, I think that one is good. It kind of has a bronzy look to it, and I didn't have anything that, like with the gold star and moon and stuff, like I added to the cat and to the moon one. I didn't have anything in a bronzy color. Gold wouldn't have worked because I went with bronze, and I didn't have like a bronze kind of marker to highlight any of the details on it. So we're just going to leave it like it is. All in all, I think they all turned out just fantastic. I love each and every one of them. I don't quite know which one is my favorite. I think it's a combination between the frog and the moon. I love the way that the alcohol inks just kind of gave it like this splattered, muddled, just beautiful background that you can't achieve, at least I haven't found any other way. So I think it's super cool. I think it has a lot of possibilities on different things that you can do with it, different molds that you can use it in. So it's not just, well, this only has to be done with nightlights. It can be done with anything. And I would love to see if any of you try this out. I would love to see what you come up with. And you can do that by sharing it to my Facebook group. There was a QR code on the screen earlier, and there is a link in the description box, along with links and discount codes to all of my affiliates and my eBay store. Anyway, that is a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you. I should have a video out for Saturday, but just in case. If not, I will see you on Wednesday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Is strong. Together we belong. In every comment, right? You lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue elephant crew, this one's out for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care. Likes and shares, they